Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. We're so happy you're here with us today.
If you're new to the podcast, welcome. This show is all about helping you improve your English in a simple, practical, and motivating way.
Yes, we talk about real problems English learners face, and we share easy tips you can use in your daily life.
So today's topic is very special and very modern. We're talking about how to learn English in 2026.
Because learning English today is very different from learning English 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago.
Exactly. In 2026, we have more tools, more technology, and more chances to practice than ever before. But at the same time, many learners still feel confused, stuck, or unsure about the best way to learn.
So in this episode, we want to help you understand what has changed, what really works now, and how you can build a simple and effective way to learn English in 2026.
We'll talk about the right mindset, smart learning methods, how to use technology in a helpful way, and also the common mistakes that still stop learners from improving.
And don't worry, everything we share today will be simple, practical, and easy to follow. No complicated theory, no difficult words.
Our goal is that by the end of this episode, you feel more confident, more clear, and more motivated about your English journey.
So whether you're a beginner, an intermediate learner, or someone who understands English but finds it hard to speak, this episode is for you.
All right, let's get started and look at how learning English has changed over time and what makes learning in 2026 so different.
Let's do it!
So, Julia, before we talk about how to learn English in 2026, let's go back a little. How did people usually learn English in the past?
Well, for a long time, English learning was mostly about textbooks, grammar rules, and memorizing long word lists.
Yes, people spent a lot of time reading, writing, and doing exercises, but not much time speaking or listening.
Exactly. Many learners knew a lot about English, but they couldn't really use it in real conversations.
And learning often happened only in classrooms with a teacher, a blackboard, and maybe a cassette or CD for listening practice.
Right. If you didn't live in an English-speaking country, it was very hard to hear real English or talk to real English speakers.
But now in 2026, things are very different.
Very different. Today, English is everywhere on YouTube, podcasts, social media, online courses, apps, games, and even in AI tools.
You don't need to wait for a class or a teacher anymore. You can learn anytime, anywhere, with just your phone and an internet connection.
And you can listen to real English every day. You can hear different accents, different speaking styles, and natural conversations.
You can also practice speaking in new ways with language exchange partners online, voice messages, recording yourself, or even talking with AI.
So learning English is no longer just studying a language. It's more like living with the language.
That's a great way to say it, living with the language.
Yes. In 2026, the best learners are not the ones who study the most grammar. They are the ones who use English the most in their daily life.
They watch, listen, speak, think, and even write small messages in English every day.
So the big change is this. Learning has moved from the classroom into your real life.
And that's why mindset is so important now, because you're not just a student anymore, you're an active user of English.
Exactly. And that's the perfect bridge to our next part, the right mindset for learning English in 2026.
Let's talk about that. So now that we've talked about how learning has changed, let's talk about something even more important: mindset.
Yes, because in 2026, how you think about learning English is just as important as how you study it.
Many learners still think, I will start speaking when my English is perfect.
But that's a problem because perfection never comes first. Progress comes first.
Exactly. The right mindset today is start before you're ready.
Make mistakes, sound strange, forget words, it's all part of learning.
In fact, mistakes are not a sign of failure. They are a sign that you're using the language.
And when you use the language, your brain learns much faster.
Another important mindset shift is moving from study English to live in English.
Yes, instead of saying, I will study English for 1 hour, say, I will use English in my life today.
That could be listening to a podcast while walking, writing a short message in English, or speaking for 5 minutes.
Small daily contact with English is more powerful than long study sessions once a week.
Consistency beats intensity.
Every single time.
Another mindset shift is understanding that fluency is not about speaking fast. It's about speaking clearly and comfortably.
You don't need to sound like a native speaker. You need to be understood and feel confident.
And finally, in 2026, learning English is no longer lonely.
Yes, you are not alone. There are communities, apps, partners, and tools that can support you.
So the right mindset is be patient, be consistent, be brave, and use English every day.
And with that mindset, the methods we share next will work much better.
Let's move on to the smart ways to learn English in 2026. All right, Julia, now that we've talked about mindset, let's get practical. What are the smartest ways to learn English in 2026?
Yes, there are 4 ways I think every learner should know. And the great thing is, these methods are simple, modern, and easy to do every day.
Okay, let's start with the first one.
In the past, most learners only use textbooks. Now, we have so many real-world English sources, podcasts, YouTube, social media, movies, and news.
Exactly. The best way to learn is to immerse yourself in real English content. Listen to things you like.
And it doesn't have to be perfect English. Even simple videos or short podcasts help your brain understand natural sentences, phrases, and pronunciation.
This is how your brain starts thinking in English without translating everything in your head. Number 2 is speaking early. Julia, many learners wait months or years before speaking.
Yes, and that's a big mistake. Speaking is a physical skill, like learning to play an instrument.
Even if you only know 20 words, try to speak. Record yourself, talk to an AI, or send a voice message to a friend.
Every time you speak, your mouth, tongue, and brain get trained. It becomes easier to form sentences naturally.
And remember, mistakes are proof that you're learning.
Number 3 is using technology smartly.
Yes, in 2026, you have AI assistants, speech recognition apps, pronunciation tools, and language learning apps right on your phone.
You can practice speaking, get instant feedback, and even simulate conversations with AI.
Technology makes English learning faster and more interactive than ever before. And finally, number 4, a daily English routine.
Yes, even 15 to 30 minutes every day is more effective than 2 hours once a week.
You can split it into listening, speaking, reading, and writing a little bit of everything.
Or just focus on one thing daily, like listening to a podcast on the way to work, speaking for 5 minutes, or writing a short diary entry.
The key is consistency. Small daily actions add up quickly over time.
Exactly. In 2026, learning English is less about long study sessions and more about smart daily habits.
So those are the 4 smart ways. Learn with content, speak early, use technology, and create a daily routine.
Simple, modern, and very effective if you do them consistently.
Next, we'll talk about the mistakes many learners still make and how to avoid them. All right, Julia, we've shared smart ways to learn English in 2026, but many learners still make the same mistakes that slow their progress.
Yes, and the good news is, once you know these mistakes, you can avoid them and improve much faster.
Let's start with the first one, waiting too long to speak.
Exactly. Many learners think, I'll speak English when I know enough words or grammar.
But the truth is, speaking early is how you actually learn to speak. Waiting just keeps you stuck.
Mistake number 2, focusing too much on grammar.
Yes, grammar is important, but it's not the main thing. You can't have perfect grammar in your head and suddenly start speaking fluently.
Fluency comes from using the language making sentences, having conversations, and making small mistakes.
And the third common mistake, trying to be perfect.
Yes, many learners get frustrated if they mispronounce a word or make a mistake in a sentence.
But perfection is the enemy of progress. Every mistake is actually a step forward.
Another mistake I see a lot is inconsistency.
Right. Some learners study for 3 to 4 hours in one day, then don't touch English for a week.
It's much better to do a little every day, even 15 to 30 minutes, than long, irregular sessions.
And finally, some learners forget to use English in real life.
Yes, learning from books or apps is helpful, but if you never speak, listen, or interact in English, your progress will be slow.
So the key takeaway is, speak early, focus on usage, be consistent, and don't fear mistakes.
If you avoid these mistakes, you'll learn faster and enjoy the process much more.
Exactly. And next, we'll recap everything and give some final motivation so you can start taking action today. All right, Julia, we've covered a lot today: mindset, smart ways to learn, and common mistakes. Let's take a moment to recap and get motivated.
Yes. First, we talked about how English learning has changed in 2026. No longer just textbooks. Now you have podcasts, YouTube, apps, AI tools, and real conversations.
Then, we discuss the mindset you need. Start before you're ready, be consistent, embrace mistakes, and live in English every day.
Exactly. And we shared 4 smart ways to learn English. Learn with content, speak early, use technology, and create a simple daily routine.
We also talked about the common mistakes learners make: waiting too long to speak, focusing too much on grammar, trying to be perfect, inconsistency, and not using English in real life.
Yes, and if you avoid those mistakes and follow the tips we shared, you'll see real improvement in your English in 2026.
Now, let's get motivated for a moment. Learning English is a journey, and every small step counts.
Even speaking for just 5 minutes a day or listening to a podcast on your way to work makes a difference.
Progress may feel slow sometimes, but every effort adds up. In a few months, you'll be surprised at how much you've improved.
And remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to start and keep going.
Exactly. So here's your action step. Pick one small thing you can do today to practice English. It could be listening, speaking, or writing. Just start.
And if you want more tips, exercises, and motivation, subscribe to our podcast and follow along with our future episodes.
We're here to guide you, support you, and make learning English in 2026 easier and more fun.
Yes, you can do this. Start today. Keep going and enjoy the journey.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode of English Learning Podcast.
Bye, everyone, and happy learning.